because maybe the officials missed it in the game, and then when they have to...
So when a player makes illegal contact, it's called a personal foul, which means this would be... So that would... Yeah, that's a personal foul. No! There is no foul. You know, it's because that's why. But when a player makes unnecessary illegal contact, then it's called a flagrant one foul, which means this would be... Let's see, that's unnecessary. Yep, that's a flagrant one foul. No! What would you think? The player made normal illegal contact, which means it's just a personal foul. See what I mean? The player was just trying to get into a defensive position and accidentally made contact with the other player. That's why. But when the illegal contact is unnecessary and excessive, then that would be a flagrant 2 foul, which means this would be... So that's unnecessary and excessive. That would be a flagrant 2 foul. No! Flagrant 1 foul? No!
Angelica Suffren, that is the name that decided to look at Caitlin Clark getting throttled in the throw without any consequence. She had the perfect view of what happened. Look at her. She goes straight towards it, and guess what? She lets play go on. Should WNBA review and or suspend referee Angelica Suffren after the missed call on Caitlin Clark? Now, these videos are doing the rounds. Meet Angelica Suffren, the WNBA ref who had a direct line of sight to Caitlin Clark taking a fist to the throat, but decided to not blow the whistle. The WNBA is full of a narcissist attention seeker, says hero of the day.
What if one missed whistle became the biggest talking point in the entire WNBA? Imagine millions of fans watching the same replay and asking one simple question. How did the officials not stop the play? That's exactly what happened after Caitlin Clark was involved in a controversial on-court altercation that has divided players, analysts, and basketball fans across the country. Some believe it was nothing more than an unfortunate basketball play, while others argue it exposed a much bigger problem with officiating consistency in the league. As video clips spread across social media, the debate only became louder, with many demanding accountability and a closer review of the officials' decisions. But is the criticism actually justified, or has the reaction gone too far? In today's video, we'll break down what happened, examine the rules, look at the league's response, and explore why this single moment has become one of the most discussed WNBA stories of the season. The controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark has once again placed the WNBA under an intense spotlight. What started as a single on-court moment has now evolved into one of the biggest debates in women's basketball this season. Fans aren't just discussing the physical play itself, they're questioning whether the league is doing enough to ensure consistency in officiating and player safety. As soon as the game ended, video clips of the incident began spreading rapidly across social media. Within hours, basketball fans, former players, sports analysts, and media personalities were all breaking down the same sequence from different angles. Some viewers believed the contact deserved an immediate whistle, while others argued it was simply part of a physical basketball game.
The league continues to work through what many perceive as consistency issues, especially when it comes to games being officiated, Lisa.
Well, officiating is tough. I don't know if anybody's ever even tried to officiate. It's not the easiest game. It's one of the most thankless jobs you can do. But in this particular situation, I thought that the last official should have been able to catch that. I was actually watching this game and I was like, oh, wow, that was a bit much. So in that moment, I thought that the official missed the call. I'm not surprised that the league went back and fined Alyssa Thomas. But I think at the same time, it's tough to think that official would have missed that they didn't have a replay on it. That was tough to me. And I think overall, the league's got to do better. The officials have got to do better, but also players. Players have to clean it up. We used to play in a way that you protected one another. Yeah, I want to play physical. I want to play hard, but I'm not out here trying to hurt you. If I was out there for a loose ball and it was Renee down there, yeah, I'm going for the ball. But if I accidentally punched Renee or hit her in some kind of way, maybe the play goes on, but I help her up. I help her up. You know what I mean? Just out of the like, dang, my bad. You know, so I think that part is important too, the reaction. Maybe if Alyssa Thomas would have even turned like, dang, my bad, I didn't mean to hit you like that. It's a different thing, but that's not what happened. And so I think that the league got it right. But I think overall, Coach Tibbetts is correct. Everything, consistency is important. It needs to be cleaned up for all players, regardless of what their accolades are. None of that part matters. It matters about protecting these players, no matter which team, which position, when they sub in, the start of the game to the end of the game. Every player deserves the same type of protection.
That disagreement has fueled an ongoing debate that continues to dominate conversations. One reason this story has gained so much attention is because Caitlin Clark has become one of the most recognizable athletes in professional basketball. Since entering the WNBA, nearly every game she plays attracts significant media coverage. Television ratings have increased, arenas have welcomed larger crowds, and interest in the league has grown dramatically. Because of that visibility, every controversial moment involving Clark naturally receives far more attention than a typical regular season play. But this discussion isn't only about one player. Many fans believe the bigger issue is consistency. Throughout the season, there have been multiple moments where supporters have questioned why similar plays received different decisions from officials. Some games have featured quick foul calls for minor contact, while others have allowed far more physical play without a whistle. Whether those concerns are justified or not, they have become a recurring topic among basketball fans. That's why this latest incident immediately captured so much attention. As the replays circulated online, viewers began analyzing every frame. Some focused on the contact itself, while others paid close attention to where the officials were positioned during the play. Because multiple camera angles became available, thousands of fans started sharing their own opinions about whether the referees had a clear view of the action. Of course, officiating basketball at the professional level is incredibly difficult. Referees must make split-second decisions while following 10 athletes moving at full speed. They don't have the benefit of slow-motion replay during live action, and every decision must be made almost instantly. Even experienced officials occasionally miss calls simply because of positioning, timing, or obstructed sightlines. That reality is important to remember whenever controversial plays occur. Still, many fans believe that technology and post-game review systems exist for situations exactly like this. They argue that if an important call is missed during live action, the league should carefully examine the play afterward to determine whether further action is necessary. This is where league procedures become important. The WNBA regularly reviews games after they conclude. Officials evaluate significant plays, examine potential missed calls, and determine whether additional discipline is appropriate. That review process isn't unique to one player or one team, it's part of maintaining consistency across the league. Whenever controversial incidents happen, those internal reviews often become just as important as the game itself. Meanwhile, sports television programs quickly joined the discussion. Former players offered their own perspectives based on years of professional experience. Some believed officials simply missed the play in real time, while others suggested that player safety should always receive the highest priority regardless of game situation. One point nearly everyone agreed on was that protecting athletes is essential. Basketball is naturally physical. Players battle for rebounds, dive for loose balls, fight through screens, and compete aggressively for position throughout every game. Contact is unavoidable. However, leagues must constantly determine where competitive physicality ends and unnecessary contact begins. That balance isn't always easy. Sometimes two experienced referees can watch the exact same replay and still reach different conclusions. Fans often expect every situation to have an obvious answer, but sports rarely work that way. Judgment calls remain one of the most challenging parts of officiating at every professional level. Even so, perception matters. When fans repeatedly feel that similar plays receive different rulings, confidence in officiating begins to weaken. Whether those perceptions accurately reflect reality or not, public trust becomes part of the conversation. That's exactly why consistency has become one of the biggest topics surrounding this incident. Another factor making this story so significant is the speed of social media. Years ago, controversial calls might have been discussed on television for a day before fading away. Today, one replay can generate millions of views within hours. Every angle is analyzed, every decision is debated, and every statement from coaches, players, or analysts becomes part of the larger conversation. That constant attention increases pressure on everyone involved. Players face more scrutiny. Coaches receive more questions. Officials become the focus of public criticism. League executives must respond carefully while balancing transparency with established review procedures. As the discussion continued, many fans began asking an important question. If the league reviews controversial plays after games, what standards determine whether additional action is necessary? That's where opinions begin to differ. Some people believe every dangerous-looking play deserves stronger punishment. Others argue that intent should always be considered before handing out discipline. Still others believe the existing rules already provide officials with enough authority, and the real challenge is applying those rules consistently from game to game. Those competing viewpoints explain why this debate has become much larger than a single possession. For some fans, this controversy represents concerns about officiating standards across the entire league. For others, It's simply another difficult judgment call that happens in every professional sport. Neither side appears ready to change its opinion anytime soon. One thing, however, is undeniable. The conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark continues to shape headlines throughout the basketball world. Every new replay, every analyst's opinion, and every official league statement adds another layer to an already intense discussion. And as more voices enter the debate, one question continues to dominate the conversation. Did this single moment expose a larger issue with officiating consistency in the WNBA, or has the controversy grown far beyond what actually happened on the court? As the debate continued to grow, basketball fans began asking one important question: what do the WNBA rules actually say about this type of contact? Before judging whether the officials made the right or wrong decision, it's important to understand how these situations are evaluated under the league's rulebook. In professional basketball, not every collision results in the same type of foul. Officials are trained to judge several factors within seconds, including the nature of the contact, whether it affected the play, and whether the action appeared to be part of a legitimate basketball move. These split-second decisions often determine whether play continues or whether a whistle is blown. When the replay of Caitlin Clark's altercation was shown from different camera angles, fans immediately began comparing what they saw with the league standards. Some viewers argued that the contact looked serious enough to deserve an immediate foul call. Others believed the play happened so quickly that it would have been difficult for any official to process in real time. That difference in opinion became the center of the controversy. One thing that cannot be ignored is how difficult officiating has become in today's game. Basketball is played at an incredible pace. Players change direction in an instant, bodies collide in crowded areas of the court, and referees must keep track of multiple players at the same time. Even with years of professional experience, officials sometimes miss important moments simply because their angle is blocked or their attention is focused elsewhere. However, fans weren't satisfied with that explanation. As clips continued spreading across social media, many people started pointing out where each referee was positioned during the play. Some believed one official had a clear line of sight, while others argued that the available camera angles didn't necessarily match what the referee actually saw on the court. It's an important distinction because television viewers benefit from slow-motion replays and multiple camera perspectives, advantages officials don't have during live action. Even so, the criticism didn't stop there. Sports talk shows quickly joined the discussion. Former WNBA stars and basketball analysts offered their own breakdowns of the incident. While opinions varied, many agreed on one key point: consistency is what matters most. Players need to know that the rules will be applied the same way every night, regardless of the teams involved or the stage of the season. That idea has become one of the biggest challenges facing every professional sports league. Fans don't expect officials to be perfect. Mistakes happen in every sport. What supporters do expect is fairness. If one type of contact is called a foul in one game, many believe similar contact should receive the same treatment in another. When that doesn't happen, debates like this become almost unavoidable. Following the game, attention shifted away from the court and toward the league office. Like most professional leagues, the WNBA has a review process for controversial plays. Officials and league personnel can examine footage after games to determine whether additional discipline or other actions are appropriate. This system exists because not every important play can be fully evaluated during live competition. That review process became one of the biggest talking points after this incident. Fans waited to see whether the league would release any updates, while sports media closely followed every report. Every statement from coaches, analysts, or league representatives added another layer to an already emotional discussion. Meanwhile, reactions from both fan bases continued pouring in online. Supporters of Caitlin Clark argued that player safety should always come first. They believed the league needed to send a strong message that unnecessary contact would not be tolerated, regardless of which player was involved. Many also expressed concern that repeated physical play against star athletes could eventually lead to serious injuries. On the other side, some basketball fans believed the situation was being exaggerated because of Clark's popularity. They argued that physical basketball has always been part of the game and that similar plays involving less famous players rarely receive the same level of media attention. That disagreement highlights an interesting reality in modern sports. Star athletes naturally attract more coverage. Every highlight, controversial call, or emotional reaction involving a major name generates significantly more attention than similar moments involving lesser-known players. It's not unique to basketball, it happens across nearly every professional sport. As a result, every officiating decision involving Caitlin Clark is examined under an enormous spotlight. Another reason this story continued gaining momentum was the reaction from respected voices within the basketball community. Former players emphasized that protecting athletes should remain a top priority, while also acknowledging how difficult officiating can be. Coaches defended their players, analysts debated the replay frame by frame, and fans continued discussing whether the officials handled the situation correctly. Despite the different opinions, one message remained consistent throughout nearly every conversation. The league must continue working toward greater consistency. That's easier said than done. Every basketball game presents unique situations. No two plays are completely identical, and officials must apply judgment in real time. Even advanced replay systems cannot eliminate every disagreement because interpretation still plays a role in many decisions. Still, the league understands that public confidence matters. When fans believe games are being officiated fairly, they focus on the competition itself. But when controversial decisions dominate headlines, attention shifts away from the players and toward the referees. That's something every professional sports organization tries to avoid. As days passed, the conversation surrounding Caitlin Clark showed no signs of slowing down. Instead of fading away after one news cycle, the incident became part of a broader discussion about officiating standards, player protection, and the future direction of the WNBA. Whether people agreed or disagreed with the criticism, one fact became impossible to ignore. This single play had sparked one of the league's biggest conversations of the season. But the story wasn't over yet. Because as more analysts weighed in and new discussions emerged, another controversy began attracting attention. One that had nothing to do with a single whistle, but everything to do with how Caitlin Clark is viewed within the league itself. By the time the controversy surrounding Caitlin Clark's on-court altercation began to settle, another discussion had already taken over social media. This time, fans weren't just talking about a missed call or a single play, they were asking a much bigger question. Is Caitlin Clark being treated differently than other players in the WNBA? It's a question that has sparked countless debates, and depending on who you ask, you'll hear completely different answers. One group of fans believes Clark receives more physical attention because she's one of the league's biggest stars. They argue that defenders naturally play harder against elite players, and that increased physicality is simply part of competing at the highest level. According to this view, Clark isn't being singled out, she's simply experiencing the kind of defensive pressure that every superstar eventually faces. Others strongly disagree. Many supporters believe the number of physical incidents involving Clark has become too frequent to ignore. They point to several moments throughout the season where she absorbed hard contact, arguing that player safety should remain the league's highest priority regardless of who is involved. This difference in opinion has created one of the most passionate conversations in recent WNBA history. Adding even more attention to the debate is Clark's impact on the league itself. Since arriving as a rookie, she has helped generate unprecedented interest in women's basketball. Television audiences have increased, ticket demand has surged in many cities, merchandise sales have grown, and games featuring the Indiana Fever regularly attract national headlines. There's little disagreement that Clark has become one of the most recognizable faces in professional basketball. However, increased popularity also brings increased scrutiny. Every performance is analyzed. Every missed shot becomes a headline. Every foul is replayed repeatedly. Every emotional reaction becomes a trending topic. That level of attention creates enormous pressure, not only for the player but also for officials, coaches, opponents, and even league executives. Whenever a controversial play occurs involving Clark, millions of people immediately begin examining every detail. Slow-motion clips spread across social media, sports networks replay the footage throughout the day, and analysts offer different interpretations. Within hours, what started as a single basketball play becomes a nationwide debate. The recent officiating controversy followed exactly that pattern. Some fans questioned whether the referees handled the situation correctly. Others defended the officials, explaining how difficult it is to make split-second decisions during live action. Meanwhile, coaches around the league continued emphasizing that basketball is naturally a physical sport, and not every collision should automatically be viewed as intentional or dangerous. Former players also contributed valuable perspectives. Many explained that physical contact has always been part of professional basketball. At the same time, they stressed that leagues must constantly evaluate how to balance competitive intensity with player protection. That balance remains one of the biggest challenges in modern sports. If officials call every minor collision, many fans complain the game becomes too soft. If they allow excessive contact, critics argue they're putting players at unnecessary risk. Finding the right balance isn't easy, which is why controversial calls continue to happen in every professional league around the world. Still, one positive outcome has emerged from this entire situation. The conversation has encouraged more fans to learn about basketball rules, officiating standards, and the league's review process. Instead of simply reacting emotionally, Many supporters have started studying how different fouls are classified and why officials sometimes make decisions that appear confusing at first glance. That deeper understanding can only help the sport continue growing. The WNBA itself also faces an important opportunity. With record-breaking attention focused on the league, every decision matters more than ever before. Fans expect transparency, consistency, and fairness. Whether discussing officiating, player safety, scheduling, or league policies, public confidence plays a major role in the sport's continued success. League officials understand that trust isn't built overnight. It develops through consistent decisions, clear communication, and a willingness to evaluate difficult situations honestly. As for Caitlin Clark, it's clear she will remain one of the league's biggest attractions for years to come. Opposing teams will continue preparing specifically for her. Defenders will challenge her every night. Media coverage will follow every performance. And fans will continue debating nearly every controversial moment involving one of basketball's brightest young stars. Whether that's fair or unfair depends largely on perspective. Some believe extraordinary attention comes with being the face of a growing league. Others believe that same spotlight creates expectations that no athlete should have to carry alone. Regardless of which side people support, one thing is undeniable. The conversations surrounding Caitlin Clark have helped bring millions of new eyes to the WNBA. More people are watching games, discussing rules, following teams, and engaging with women's basketball than ever before. In many ways, that's a victory for the league itself. But with greater popularity comes greater responsibility. Every official's decision, every disciplinary review, and every public statement now carries far more weight than it once did. Fans are paying attention, and they expect the highest possible standards from everyone involved. As this season continues, similar moments will almost certainly happen again. Basketball is an emotional, fast-paced, and highly competitive sport. Mistakes by players, coaches, and officials are inevitable. The real test isn't whether controversy can be eliminated completely. The real test is how the league responds when controversy arrives. Will future incidents be handled in a way that builds confidence among players and fans? Will officiating continue becoming more consistent? Will player safety remain the top priority without changing the competitive nature of the game? Those questions don't have simple answers. But they will continue shaping the future of the WNBA long after this particular controversy fades from the headlines. And as fans, analysts, and players continue sharing their opinions, one thing is certain. Every game featuring Caitlin Clark will remain one of the biggest stories in professional basketball. What do you think about this entire controversy? Did the officials make the right decision in the heat of the moment, or do you believe the play deserved a different call after reviewing the footage? Share your honest opinion in the comments below because we'd love to hear both sides of the debate. Respectful discussions make sports even more exciting, so let's keep the conversation going. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth coverage of the biggest WNBA stories, player updates, and basketball controversies, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. We regularly bring you detailed analysis, game highlights, and the latest news from around the league. Thanks for watching, thanks for your support, and we'll see you in the next video with another major basketball story.